Hello, my friends. I hope you had a fine weekend. Mine was real good, and I welcome you back to 2 Minutes to Win It. The first line of Psalm 19 and 13 is, Lord, keep back your servant from presumptuous sins. That's a bit of an eye opener when you take time to pause and think about it. That's a strong image behind me of a father lovingly interacting with his child. It reminds me of the fact that God wants us to have a relationship with him that's close. He wants us to be comfortable in the ways that we interact with him. He wants us to be familiar with the boundless, immeasurable quality of his grace. He wants us to understand that we are loved with an everlasting love. To summarize it, God wants us to have a relationship with him that is tight and true. He wants us to exercise that relationship in a way that's free from everything that hinders that love interchange. The problem from our human standpoint is we human beings have a tendency of making a mess of things. What God doesn't want is for us to be so familiar that we become overly familiar, thinking that we can do ungodly things and still be close to him. He doesn't want us to be so entitled to his grace that we think that ungodly living coarse and crude lives is just fine. He doesn't want us to presume and assume that just because he's a forgiving God, that we don't even have to try to live righteous, holy, godly lives. And so, my friends, it is quite appropriate for King David, as well as it is for you and for me, to ask God to help us, to keep us back from living presumptuous lives and sinning in his presence. God is still looking for us to have clean hands and a pure heart. And so we need to be very careful not to take his goodness for granted. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow on 2 Minutes to Win It.